Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Ramadan, origin, practice, and benefit. I'm Abdullah Muslim, and I'm honored, I'm trusted by Allah. It's a trust, it's an amana, that's how I see this, as being your host, and to give you what I would call an ordinary person's understanding when the use of Ramadan. Last episode I was talking to you about the things that we get from an understanding here, okay? What it is that Allah has called us to. In earlier episodes I've explained to you, I've been around the world, literally. And I've met people from all nationalities, all races, okay? All different types of job descriptions, right? From doctors and lawyers, and I'm serious. I've met people in all applications of social interaction in this world. Ditch diggers. I met a man who was a cleaner. He cleaned bathrooms, but he was Hafiz of Quran. And when it came time to pray, he didn't just clean the bathroom, he cleaned up, actually it was the terminal where he worked here. He was from Bangladesh, and he was Hafiz. He knew the Quran by heart. And when it came time to pray, airplane mechanics and everybody else that was there followed him in prayer. You see, that's our hierarchy. That's how we, it's not that he was a person who was wealthy or a person who had certain family ties or anything like that. He was respected because of his memorization of the Quran. I recently heard that there's I didn't recently hear about it. I didn't really want to mention this because of the timeline, but there's an assault, a murderous assault, commonly referred to as genocide, going on in Palestine right now, okay, in a place named Gaza. And those people there have been, those poor Muslims, when I say poor, I'm not talking about poor when I talk like I talk about the people who are assaulting them. I'm saying poor because it's an English expression. But at any rate, they have produced 50,000 Hafiz of Quran. 50,000 young people in that country, in that place, are Hafiz of Quran. And they managed to hobble, that is to put together a society that was functioning. And this is something that the misguided people who are busy assaulting them couldn't stand. We've done everything we can to these people, and they still just keep right on keeping on. They keep right on moving forward. They keep right on. Now they're growing their own food. We don't even let them, no joke, we don't even let them have parsley. We've limited their diet because we control every aspect, and they still manage to survive. Okay, the only thing we can do now is just go and murder them. And I'm going to stop here, because this is like an emotional issue for me. Emotional is that when I see Muslims, not just in Gaza, but Muslims, whether it be the people in Myanmar, okay, the Rohingyas, or the Muslims in the Central African Republic, or the Muslims in Bosnia, or the Muslims in any place that Muslims are being oppressed. And I know Muslims. I know us. We're not taught, Allah does not teach us to be docile. He doesn't tell us, you know, if somebody comes and does this to you, you turn the other cheek. Allah doesn't tell us that. What He does tell us is to defend ourselves, and to defend ourselves as vigorously as we're able to. And when I see what's going on, it's like somebody has taken a part of my body and injured it, and that's the way I feel, okay? Like I said, I didn't want to talk about this because of the timeline, okay? Maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years, if this is still around, there won't be any understanding at all of what I'm talking about. And then maybe there will be, I don't know. But right now, this is an issue. So at any rate, they have produced 50,000 or more Hafiz of Quran. And you see the faith and the iman of these people with nothing, okay, during Ramadan, still moving forward, and the dignity of the people. And you see how there's an attempt to break their dignity. And once again, this Ramadan for me has been one of, I've never had a Ramadan like this before. One where I can see what's being done to Muslims. Now it's not just a matter of what's being done to them in Masjid al-Aqsa. Last year, these people assaulted them with clubs and brutally brutalized these people, old and young, with clubs for no reason other than the fact that they were praying to Allah. They're praying to God. What's the harm in that? Once again, like I said, this is an issue, not just with me, but with the Ummah worldwide. And Allah tells us about these things. You see, this is what I'm saying, is when you read the Quran, there's ayats that every year you read it, what happens is something occurs and you're reading it and you say, whoa, where'd that come from? Now, I've been reading the Quran for over 50 years now, or for about 50 years. And I'm reading it, you would think that by now I would know every word in it. And I read something and I say, well where did that come from? Whoa. And it gives an explanation of the people who have been influenced by Iblis. By Iblis. Remember him? I read to you 7 different places. I mean, he's mentioned all throughout the book, and his influences are mentioned. And we're taught how to identify his influences. You know, they give it different names. They call it politics, or they call it business. Or, in the name of business, I can't do this. Or in the name of, well, I have a family connection with these people. Or, no. Allah tells us that these things are from Iblis, and whatever name you want to put on it, okay, he has whispered into the hearts, and the minds of men. Okay, Alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas. That's one of the surahs in Quran. Qul a'udhu birabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas, min sharril waswasil khannas. Alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas, min al-jinnati wan nas. That is, I seek refuge with Allah. Or it's A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Say, I seek refuge with the Lord and the cherisher of mankind, the king or the ruler of mankind. We're talking about Allah. The God or the judge of mankind, from the mischief of the whisper of evil who withdraws after his whisper. You look and you see what goes on. Everybody's in denial. We're letting the food trucks through, and what they're doing is reprehensible, and this is absolutely horrible, but yet it's still going on. You've been whispered to, and you've been taught to use a language and words that in some way or another you're trying to say, well, see, I said things against it. 8 billion people in the world are sitting back and watching 2.5 million, or whatever the case may be, being slaughtered every day by people who are obviously misguided and who have been whispered to by Iblis, who whispers into the hearts of mankind, among jinn and among men, talking about Iblis. You see, being a Muslim and reading Quran has helped us, me, and literally hundreds of millions of Muslims, maybe trillions throughout history, to understand who the devil is, what he does, and how to get around his traps. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.